my meat chickens just arrived about a couple hours ago. I went ahead and put them in the box, and so they're all settled now, and I wanted to go over a couple of the most important things to do when they first arrive and some of the steps on before you get your meat chickens and things to prepare for.
Here they are. It's a miracle that none of them died. I ordered 60, so hopefully we can keep most of them alive.
Before you even order your meat chickens, you're going to want to make sure that you have all of the equipment that you need. So you want to make sure that you have a brooder box for them to grow up in. They're going to be in here for about 1 to 4 weeks depending on how well they grow in the weather. And then you're going to want to make sure you either have plans to build your chicken tractor or whatever area you're going to put your meat chickens in, because the worst thing is whenever you need that shelter or whatever equipment you need and you don't have it at the time you need, because you have an investment in your meat chickens and you want to make sure that you're able to have the equipment you need in order to get the investment out of the meat chickens. Once you have your equipment and you have your meat chickens ordered, you're going to need food. And so there is a specific calculation that you can do to know how much food that you need for your meat chickens. There are 2 types of feeds when it comes to meat chickens. There's starter and grower. It's kind of like chick feed and layer hen feed. So the food calculations that I use starter for 3 weeks, and then I do grower until 3 weeks until finish. So 3 weeks to about 8.5 to 9 weeks. And how I calculate the feed is for the starter, they will eat 2.5 pounds per bird, and then for the grower, they'll eat 11 pounds per bird. And what you do is say I have 60 meat chickens, so I do 60 times 2.5, and then I'll get the amount of feed that I need. So it's a pretty simple calculation, and it makes it a lot more simple. In total, they eat around 13.5 pounds of feed. So that is just to calculate how much it would cost, and you want to go ahead and have your feed before they arrive, because I've done it where I haven't had feed when I needed it, and it can be really stressful trying to figure out when and where you're going to get your feed. So those are just some things to go ahead and think about before your meat chickens even arrive. When your meat chickens just arrive, the 2 most important things to think about are water and heat. So they have just been hatched, and it's between 1 to 3 days before they arrive, and they have not had any food or water, and they're able to be okay without the food or water, but when they get to your brooder box, they are going to be super thirsty. So to go ahead and have your water or your magic water in there is super helpful. When I put mine in there, they were drinking it probably for about 10 minutes right when I put them in there, so they were super thirsty. Heat is super important when they first arrive because they'll just travel for 3 days, and they will be cold when they first get in that box. So don't be worried when they go straight to the heat. They will warm up quick. It's just good to go ahead and have that prepared. One of the most important tips I have learned is something called magic water. It is a mixture of garlic, honey, and apple cider vinegar that helps boost their immune system and helps digestion, and it helps prevent sickness. And so it's definitely a great tool to have. I give them the magic water for 3 days straight. I make sure it's never empty, and then from there until they go to pasture, I supplement it. So I might have one magic water water in there just to provide that if they want it, or if not. So yeah, the magic water is a great it's a great tool. I can put in the description a recipe for that. It's 2 garlic cloves, half a cup of honey, and some apple cider vinegar. So another thing to watch out for is when you first get your meat chickens, they're not very smart, and so don't have a water that has a super big opening. I use ones that are small, or if they do have a big opening, I get little pebbles and I put it around the edge. This just prevents any chance of drowning, and this relates to any chicken. It would be a horrible way to lose a meat chicken for them to drown, and so that's something else like a preventative. But after like a couple days, they're fine. It's just something that I do.